just pop on periodically in the group here that I think would be awesome. And I would love right now, and we're going to do this a couple times over the next week. I would love if Jeremy, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, Dean.
Okay, could we unmute Keri Faith?
Yep.
Keri, are you with us?
Hello.
Hi, Keri, how are you?
I am amazing, Dean. I'm so honored to be here with you.
Well, thank you for jumping on. I know my team reached out to you yesterday because you left so many incredible posts and you're such an active part of the community. We just thought we'd reach out and talk to you today.
Thank you so much. You have gotten me so fired up this week to take so much action. It's just been an amazing time spent with you and everyone else here in the community.
Well, I love it. So I know I watched your video. I know a little bit about your story, but I might ask you questions different than what most people think. So I just want to share a little bit about what I know. Keri, you accomplished your lifelong goal to go to college. True story? And then you were done and you're like, what the hell do I do now? Is that true?
Yes, true story.
And then you didn't want to get a job and continue to study for another couple of years. And you became a part of KBB. And since then, you become a published author, a speaker, an international coach, and a writer. Is that true?
It is true, yes.
You help people rewrite their stories and transform their lives. Kill self-doubt. Now, I love that. I love the fact that you went from that, probably had, anyway, what I want to talk about though is I love the transition. This wasn't something you started with. You didn't know you were going to do it. You're doing it. We can talk about your success. I love the fact that you're making impact. You're creating success for you and your family. What I want to talk about though, Keri, is maybe the way you felt prior, like a lot of people feel right now, right? Let's get into the human emotions, because I think that's the part that, especially today on this bonus day, we can talk about all your success and that'd be great. It's like holding up the check is awesome, but what is the journey to get there, right? So my question is, what would you say to people, or how did you feel in personal story before this transition into the knowledge industry? Was it scary? What helped you overcome that? Anything like that, you could jump in because I think it would really help.
So the way I transitioned was from a lifetime of struggle. So my backstory is that I experienced a lifetime of anxiety and depression, and I transformed myself through letting go of what was holding me back, retraining my brain to not rely on any external circumstance to produce the way I felt and my results. And I started getting obsessed with goal setting once I healed myself from the inside out. And goals are what really made me create that momentum in my life. It created progress and it allowed me to apply my full potential in life. And I think that's why I was depressed in the past, and because I wasn't having that movement. And so that's why goals really just transformed my life. I learned how to set a goal, break it down, be disciplined, be self-aware, and that's how I learned how to manage myself.
Well, I got to stop you for a second. I want to tell you I'm really proud of you. Seriously, I'm really proud of you. And Dale Carnegie is one of the people I really like. I really resonate with Dale Carnegie. And one of my favorite books by him is How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. I think that's the title of it. And in that book, he said, I believe the number one plight of the human condition is knowing we have more potential and not utilizing it. And you just said something, and I would bet to say some of your depression, if I heard you right, some of the anxiety was you knew you had more to give the world, but you knew you weren't giving it to the world. Is that true?
That's true. I turned my pain to my purpose.
Yeah. So, and here, if anybody's ever felt that in their life, let Keri know. Light it up right now. Have you ever felt in your life you have more to give the world than you're currently doing right now? I don't care if you're successful. You know there's more. And that's like the brilliance of Dale Carnegie. It's not that sentence. It's not like I want to just be rich, or I just want power, I just want success. It's more like, I'm in here. It's like you're inside screaming like, I'm in here. We have more to do. Stop holding me back. And if you felt that way, like that's how we've all felt. And so tell me, okay, so then with finally going back to school, working your tail off to get there, you probably set goals, you made that goal, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm done. Now what? Because I think there's people out here, and I would bet this not out here, people watching today that feel that way when they got the job, they got the career, they got the house, they got the car, and now you're like, this is not what I thought. This is not what I signed up for. Do you remember that feeling, or did you have it for a while?
I do. I remember that feeling. I was starting over. Sound familiar, right? I was starting over last year, a new state, a new city, and I wasn't quite sure what the next chapter of my life looked like. So that's when I came across your video, and you were speaking directly to my heart and directly to my mind. And I knew if I wanted a different result, I needed a different formula to get there.
Yeah. So
And
tell me.
go
ahead.
The college was something that I failed at. I failed at once, twice, three times, and it wasn't until the fourth time that I went to college that I got that degree. And it wasn't that I actually needed the degree, obviously, because it didn't get me very far, but it was the self-belief that
Absolutely.
I needed.
Absolutely. You set that goal and you did it. So, okay. So you got KBB. I love it. And I know you're an active member, and my team Laney brags about you. I know you're in there lighting people up on a regular basis. But let me ask you, like, what was the first thing you did? Because there's people here right now going, okay, I relate with Keri. I remember what it was like I know I have more potential. I realize there's a moment when what I'm doing is not filling my soul. I know there's more, but it's still like, what were some of the first things you did? What was the first client you helped? Like, tell me a story of something that you're like, I didn't think I could do it, but when I did it, wow. Because we need that belief, right? We need that Roger Bannister 4-minute mile. You're a part of KBB, you know, I mention it all the time, right? The world said, scientists said you could never run the 4-minute mile. No one ever did it in the history of time. Roger Bannister does it, and then 18 people do it in the next year. Why? Not because we evolved that quick. It just was a belief. People believed you couldn't, and then when they believed you could, they just did it. So I would love to give people a belief, just being transparent, because that's what they need here on a Sunday. So what was a breakthrough or a story that can help that?
So one of my first clients I worked with over a month period, and she had texted me within 3 weeks, and she told me, I've done more in this month than I've done in the past 10 years of my life. That is something where it transformed my life, and it transformed her life just by taking action, just by making the plan and having someone there to hold your hand and hold you accountable for that as well.
Yeah, so I love this, and I'm so glad you're on here today. And we got lots of great people. We're going to talk to more, but Keri, I'm so glad you're here, because think about some of these questions I said, right? It's like, you probably freaked out at one time, like, who's my avatar? You like, how will you get noticed? I'm sure you thought about that. Like, who's going to notice Keri, right? It said, what if you feel like you have nothing to share? Here's the thing. I'm just going to use your own words. You are someone that used to be depressed, who didn't get your goals done, who was a college flunky 3 times. Who the hell are you to be a coach? Did you tell yourself that at all?
Yes. And every time that comes in, all I do is I replace it with something that's better.
Right. And now let me just say, I say this because I'm so damn proud of you. I mean it. Those thoughts come in your head, but the person you're serving, they don't give a crap about all of it. You know what they care about is that you used to be depressed and you killed it. You used to not set goals, and now you do and you achieve them. You used to not be in the business of helping people, but now you're sharing your experience. You used to fail college, but then you crushed it and you did it. That's all they care about, and that's where the world is right now. Listen, I asked this the other day, would you rather learn from someone who was taught what depression is and understands the textbook about it, or would you rather have the opportunity to learn from somebody who went through it and now is kicking ass? I'm not trying to, listen, all you doctors out there, I know we have so many, I'm not trying to be a jerk. You guys went to school, you kicked ass, you're professionals, you know it on a deep level. But you got some competition from people who just experienced it. And we're not trying to be doctors, we're trying to share our life experience. So tell me another breakthrough or a client or writing the book, or I just love to hear another Roger Bannister story.
Writing a book. I never thought that I could write a book, and it's because I didn't have someone there helping me write the book. Because I knew that in all of our goals and all of our where we want to go, it's not just us that's going to take us there. Someone else is going to be there helping us along the way, whether it be a program, a person, support from your family, different habits, different structure. I use all of these to write my book.
And how did, listen, only because I've written 6 of them. Writing a book is not easy, but it's amazing when it's done. Like, you know, they say the best day you having a boat is the day you buy it, the day you sell it. The best days of writing a book was when you conceptualize it and the day you send it off to the editor. Everything in between is not easy, but it's amazing when it's done. And now you help other people write books. Is that true?
That's true, yes. I help people write their book because so many people want to write their stories. So many people have always had a dream to be an author, but they just don't quite believe in themselves that they can do it. They are making excuses, perhaps. They don't believe that they have the skill set. They're not quite sure how to do it. All these things, all it takes is an internal cheerleader and someone alongside you cheering you along as well.
Listen, I am so happy that I had the chance to speak with you today, because listen to this. Listen, everybody, right now. Keri, are you a multiple New York Times bestseller?
Not yet, but I will be.
I know you will. I'm saying right now. Have you been writing books for 25 years? No.
No.
You're not a multiple New York Times bestseller. You haven't been writing books. Do you have a PhD in writing books? I know there's different degrees for that. Here's my whole point. You are inspiring people to write books, changing their lives, impacting them, and you've only written 1 book and you barely gotten done with it, and look what the impact you're making because you are 1 chapter ahead. There are so many people in the world that want to write a book. You did write a book. And you have that journey to share. I want everybody to hear that right now. This was so perfect that we had the chance to chat today. You're going to inspire way more people than you think because you're doing this. So now, before we jump off here, I'd love to know, what's the next year look like for you?
Wow, the next year, what does it look like? It looks like I will be on my way to a New York Times bestseller. I am speaking on stages in the next few months once the stages reopen, and I am changing lives every single day.
Can we go up for Keri, everyone, even if you're home on Facebook? Let's see it in the chat right now. Let's give her some love right now. This is amazing, and it just shows it's the 4-minute mile, right? A year ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, was any of this even a thought? Right? And look at this transition. And the last thing I'll ask, Keri, is, do you love it as much as I do?
I do, yes. I'm not quite sure to the level of excitement, but I do love it because I know it is my purpose to inspire people. I know that I am inspiring people. It is not easy. Every single day there is fear, but you feel the fear and you move through it and you make friends with it.
Well, I'm so proud of you. Keep up the good work. Stay in the KBB community. Keep sharing your evolution. Keep inspiring others to action. And again, thank you so much for being here and congratulations. Let's give it up.
Thank you, Dean, for changing my life.
You got it, Keri. Thank you. Listen, if that doesn't light you up, everybody in here, I said earlier, who in here wants to be in the knowledge industry, right? Everybody said yes. If that's